So Gato Verde Adventure Sailing is a business I started in 2003. The business is designed to do ecotourism and charters and sailing education and environmental education and scientific research. The wordplay Gato Verde in the name of the boat is it's a play on words. Gato for cat, for catamaran, and then Verde for green, because I wanted to build this business as a green business. I wanted the boat to be a platform for demonstrating sustainable technologies, and I wanted it to be an evolving platform for demonstrating those technologies. Well, the process was actually relatively simple. It involved removing the two existing diesel engines. They were 27 horsepower each, and they each weighed about 220 pounds. I removed them and sold them. And then I had a local welder fabricate a coupling device to couple my new electric motors to the existing transmissions that the old diesel used.
And I work on all sorts of electric motors, and the last 5 years or so I've been converting vehicles from gasoline to electric. So with converting Gato Verde from diesel power over to strictly electric, the first thing we had to do was figure out what size, capacity, and horsepower the engines were, and then figure out what type of electric motor power we would need to replace that. And so we started exploring different electric motors, and we came to the conclusion of a relatively new type of motor. It's a permanent magnet pancake motor that's now on the market, and they're very efficient and they deliver a lot of horsepower and torque for the size that they are. From there, the next hurdle was figuring out how to take the diesel engine out of the boat and put this electric motor in its place. And so we had to decide if we were going to do a direct drive off the motor shaft, essentially going to the boat's propeller, or if we were going to go through the existing gearbox, which is what we chose to do in the end. So then from there we got down to the physical hurdle of connecting the motor to that gearbox, and it was just a matter of measuring the input on the transmission and the output on the motor, and coming up with some creative way of coupling the two together.
So the electric motor itself is down here in the engine room, or what used to be the engine room. It's about 25 pounds, and it replaced a 220-pound diesel engine. It of course uses no diesel. It's the only thing that turns the propeller, and the only thing that can turn the propeller is electricity. Back box here is the electric motor controller. So this is when I adjust the throttle, the signals go into this box, and then that box sends the electricity to the motor. So this tells the motor whether to go forward or reverse and how strong to do it. Down here, this little thing right here is the electric motor. And like I said, it weighs 25 pounds, and it replaced a 220-pound diesel engine that used to take up basically the whole space down here. So from here to here is the electric motor. From here to here is the coupler. And then from here to there, including the propeller and transmission, which are hanging underneath the boat, is the sail drive and the transmission. So unlike a Prius, which has to run its engine in order to recharge the batteries, Gato Verde can just plug it into the municipal power, and I have electric battery chargers on board the boat that can recharge the batteries.
My name is is Scott Beers, and I am the president of BeamReach. BeamReach is a marine science school that offers a 10-week program for undergraduates and recent graduates. And we study killer whales, the endangered southern residents of the Pacific Northwest, and we study the fish that they eat, some of which are also threatened or endangered, and we study the environment the whales and the fish live in. We began working with Todd in 2005 when we offered our first 10-week program in the fall, and Todd quickly came to understand that the killer whales are wonderfully acoustic animals, and that it was hard for us to hear those whales because of the noise from his engines, from the Gato Verde's inboard diesels. So thus began an evolution of the boat that Todd owned and continues to own and operate, the Gato Verde. So not only are we able to move quietly while studying the whales, move with the whales while listening to them with our towed hydrophones, but we are also reducing our pollution, our air pollution impact on the killer whales, and by burning biodiesel, even when we're generating electricity and making a little bit more noise than just using our electric motors.
The feel of the little electrics the first time they kicked in was really surprising. We were all on the boat, and the captain starts backing out, and none of us knew he'd started moving. There were no sails, there was no engine noise, there was nothing. And we all looked up and suddenly realized we were underway out in the bay, essentially silently. We did occasionally have to fire the single little engine to charge back up, but compared to other boats its size, its diesel is tiny, and it's not running the boat, it's not driving the propellers or the screws, it's just charging up the batteries to run the electrics again. It's a very cool feeling to feel your boat recharging itself under wind, so that all the rest of your uses of power are just going to have been leftover energy from having the screws spinning while you're under sail. It's very, very, very efficient feeling. You have this sort of everything's closed into one system, and we're not using any fossil fuel at all here to move, even when we're going to use the motors later that day. These are the explorers out there working out the kinks for technologies that are going to take a while to develop to the point where they can replace the kind of broad-scale uses of fossil fuels we have now.
It's a lot easier to do a boat because with cars you have to be concerned about hills and terrain. The boats, it's always a nice flat road, so it's a lot easier of a system to design, and it doesn't require as much power actually.
I actually have a hard time envisioning a future where electric propulsion is not a part of boats, especially sailboats. Once the battery technology evolves and the prices come down, electric motors are already relatively cheap and super easy to maintain. They will, as those prices come down, the quality of the products will go up. Get some competition in the market, and that will also drive the evolution of the products. As the battery technology changes, that's what's really going to revolutionize electric boats and make more sense for more people.